routine to our earlier meetings, so.
The minutes written up. Oh, it's 8 o'clock, I can't talk. The meeting opened with the Pledge of Allegiance. The meeting was called to order. It's the Watts Board of Auditors met at New Buffalo Fire Company on January 5th, 2016 at 5:30 p.m. The purpose of the meeting was the organization meeting of the Watts Township Board of Auditors, according to Article 9, Section 901. Ralph L. Rudy Jr. nominated John T. Heffinger Jr. for chairman of the Board of Auditors. It was seconded by Beverly L. Ravesnyder. Motion carried. John Heffinger nominated Beverly L. Ravesnyder for secretary. Ralph L. Rudy Jr. seconded the nomination. Motion carried. Beverly L. Ravesnyder nominated Ralph L. Jr. for vice chairman. John T. Heffinger seconded the motion. Motion carried. Nancy Canagoli, I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly, asked if we were planning to work on the compensation for supervisors. Beverly L. Ravesnyder stated we would discuss the compensation at the 8 o'clock meeting. No other discussion or questions took place at the meeting. Meeting adjourned at 5:34 p.m. Beverly Ravesnyder made a motion to adjourn, and motion carried. And that's it for the 5:30 meeting. Yeah. Do we have any open discussion, first of all? Okay. The Watts Township Board of Auditors.
Excuse me, motion to approve the minutes.
Oh, okay. Motion to approve the minutes. Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Who wants to make that minutes?
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Okay. Okay, now, do we have any open discussion from anybody? No? Okay, we'll move on then to, can you hear okay?
Yeah,
Yes.
on TV, just for notification, just so you.
Okay, sure. I better try to talk more distinctly. Okay. I have drawn up a letter for the supervisors, which I will take to Nancy tomorrow, concerning the compensation of supervisors. The second-class township code states that the compensation of supervisors, when employed as roadmasters, laborers, secretary, treasurer, assistant secretary, assistant treasurer, or any employee capacity not otherwise prohibited by this or any other act, shall be determined by the Board of Auditors at an hourly, daily, weekly, semi-monthly, or monthly basis, which shall be comparable to the compensation paid in the locality for similar services. The Watts Township Board of Auditors need and are requesting the following information for the supervisors who are performing non-supervisory employee roles. Now, there's 3 different requests, and I saw, before I read them, I saw a form which had a supervisor, 4 supervisors to fill out, and I really didn't like it, and some of it didn't seem to apply, but these, I shortened it, and I have 3 requests here for the supervisors. Please provide the name of each supervisor and the employee position held by that supervisor for which the Board of Auditors is to set compensation. 2, please provide at least 5 duties for each of the employee positions held by each supervisor that requires compensation to be set by the Watts Township Board of Auditors. And 3, the rates of compensation are based upon experience as well as position. The Board of Auditors will require a resume from each supervisor to be compensated on an hourly basis. Sincerely, and I'll sign my name. Those are three things. Now, do you have any questions on that? Anybody? Okay. We're taking it from a total standpoint, and I personally don't know the background history, the work history of the supervisors, and if I was an HR person in any kind of company, this is probably what they would ask. So I feel as though it is necessary in order to give an accurate and non-biased and a work salary or compensation for the supervisors. I feel as though we need to analyze each position, the duties they do, and the responsibility of each position in order to set the right compensation. So that's our thought of that. And do any of you guys have anything to add to it?
Yeah, this is for Pat.
It's okay.
Have we checked the driver's license of the operators to see that their licenses are current and that they have insurance? They carry insurance to drive the equipment. If they have a driver's license,
Is there a road crew?
okay, we're talking about who operates the equipment.
Okay.
They have a current driver's license, and do they have insurance?
You're talking about personal driver's insurance as opposed to their own personal insurance.
Okay, if they have a expired driver's license, they shouldn't be operating equipment.
Right, yeah.
You follow what I'm saying?
Absolutely, yes.
And if they don't have insurance, then they're not gonna have a driver's license. They gotta have auto insurance. So if they don't have insurance, then they shouldn't be operating equipment.
I mean, just so I don't know, this is a question I'm posing to you. I don't know if you can't have a driver's license. What if you didn't own a vehicle? You wouldn't have to have insurance in order to...
If you have a driver's license, you have to have insurance, or they're gonna pull them.
I've never heard that. I
Yes.
don't know that that's the case. I
Yeah,
don't
you
know.
have to have insurance.
Okay.
You don't believe me, drop your insurance and a trooper will pay you a visit at your door.
No, what I'm saying is what if you didn't own a car? I'm just supposing, I don't know. If you didn't own a car and you got a driver's license, and it's moot, but I'm just,
Okay?
yeah, I just wondered.
Okay, then you'd be an uninsured motorist. Right.
If
If you ever drove.
If you ever drove, but you'd still, no, but you'd still have, be able to get a driver's license.
That's what I'm, okay.
No, I got what you're saying.
You need to check current driver's license. They're out driving a
I'm gonna
truck.
put these in notes, so you want to know if all the people who operate equipment for the township have driver's licenses and are insured.
Right.
Okay.
Ralph, I know a little bit about this because if you have a driver's license but no car, you get liability insurance from an insurance company if they will give it to you. Some insurance companies will not give it, some will. So you might have to check 50 insurance companies.
But I do have a question. You're asking for, you're to set the supervisor's pay. It has, I'm just wondering, it has nothing to do with anyone else, any other employee. So I'm
Okay,
just curious
all
as
right.
to why, what the question, what's the inquiry about?
The inquiry is about because we set two standards for labor out there. $13.25 and $15.
Right.
One rates $15 for qualified.
Right, because they operate a backhoe, a
Okay.
front loader, or whatever.
All right, we won't know who's qualified if they don't have a driver's license to operate the trucks and how much you're to set the, or anything like that there.
Well, I think the idea, as Carl had mentioned, is if the quote qualified, the idea of qualified is someone who can operate a backhoe, a front loader, or whatever.
Right.
It had nothing to do with driving skills per se.
Well, if you don't have a driver's license, you can't drive the dump truck either.
Yeah, you're right, but again, those things would pertain to not Kelly or
No.
anyone else, but to Carl and Glenn and myself.
Yeah.
Anybody that operates a company.
Yeah.
If Glenn I'm sure he has a license, I'm sure he does, and I'm sure Carl does.
Right.
But I know an incident, probably about 3 or 4 years back, where Kelly drove the township truck around the township without a license. For 2 years, he lost his driver's license before I caught it, and it just happened that day he got him back. That's why my question is, And I think we're not gonna get into that, why I'm asking. I wanna make sure they all have current driver's license.
It's your answer.
Do you know if he lost them, had to send them in? Or anybody?
No, I don't know.
You see what I'm trying to say? If he goes out there and smashes into somebody that's driving township equipment
Right.
in a truck, who's responsible?
Yeah, no, ultimately, I got that, but I
Okay,
just.
that's why we want a resume.
Yeah.
But we want a resume for the supervisors, is that
Also,
what we?
well,
we
there's-
need?
they have to
Well, we
have
are
current driver's
asking now for.
No, no.
The separation is, I see, what she's trying to say is, your purview, your responsibility is about the suits. I agree with you, what you're saying, but it's not,
Relevant.
it's relevant for a SUPS meeting, it's not relevant for the auditors, because
100%.
you have control over the SUPS pay, not the road crews pay.
Okay,
So
but
we're agreeing.
if you read the auditor's book,
Uh-huh.
we can audit it what you do, whether how you do your work, how long it takes you, or whatever. Read the book,
Okay.
and this is part of it. The township has to work at a capacity that's efficient.
So you're saying that the auditors are not just responsible for how the money's spent, but they're also responsible for the duties?
Okay,
I'm
now
just
just think
asking.
about what you said. We're responsible for how the money's spent, so if you don't spend it efficiently, isn't that part of the job?
I don't know. I've never heard of that being part of an auditor's, but I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just
It's not
asking. I'm
just
trying to
auditing
figure this
books,
out.
read it, sit down and read it, it's not
I'm
just
trying to
auditing
figure
books.
this out, that's all.
But in the idea of the resume thing, I guess it's interesting, because I've never heard of that approach before. It's a matter of, for the most part, if somebody's just holding a sign, or like I work the
Okay,
cleanup, spring cleanup. Carl drives the front loader and loads everything, so,
well, I'm sure he's qualified.
yeah, I mean, I
I'm,
didn't have a resume, I just.
but if you got somebody out there holding a sign,
Right.
you don't know if he has a back injury or whatever else, and then something
That's not gonna show
happens.
on a resume.
Well, no, that is. Have you ever had any medical problems or anything like that? You have
That's
to.
not something you put on a resume.
Oh, well,
It isn't.
these are some of the questions you maybe ought to ask, right?
Okay, but we will require a resume from the supervisor of their work experience. So it pertains. So, is there any other questions? Okay. Now, I'm going to deliver this to Nancy.
Need a motion
tomorrow.
on the letter.
Yeah, I'll get a motion. We'll have a motion, you guys, to approve the letter to be sent to Nancy so that the supervisors can provide the information we need to set compensation. Okay. What, okay, I'll second it. Do you? Motion carried. Okay. Do we have any other business that we should address at this time?
I have one other thing to say, Pat, and this is directed at you, and I'm not picking on you. Don't take it the wrong way. Do we do any drug tests or alcohol tests for alcohol use? To any of the employees, have we ever done that or anything?
I don't know that it's considered mandatory. I don't know that, I can't answer that question.
Well, it doesn't, it's for you to ask the question
Okay.
out there. And I just wanted to bring that up. I wanted to bring it up at the other meeting, so. I know they do it in other townships. They do periodically drug testing and alcohol testing for driving the vehicles out in the township under the influence of alcohol. And I've heard it several times, and I'm sure you have too, so. It's just something you guys need to address. I'm just making that's my opinion of it, and I would like to see something like that done. And not mention any harm to anybody, but that's why I'm doing it, so no harm does come to anybody.
Right, I got you. No, I follow
Okay.
what you're saying.
That's all I have.
Okay.
And also monitor themselves. Because anything like that happens with the acquaintances or
you know, people interested. You know, right?
Yeah,
I agree with Glenn. And Glenn made that, I agree with it. That's all I have.
Okay. Is there any other business at this time?
You have to change the meeting date.
Yes, we do have to change the meeting date, okay? We've discussed changing the meeting date back to Wednesday and at 5 o'clock for the auditors meeting.
6:30 back?
Because you're going to meet at
it's
6.
6.
You're going to meet at
Move
6.
back to 6.
Huh?
Just move back to 6 because that'll give Linus a full hour for being paid for a full hour.
Okay.
So we
Okay.
will meet at 5 o'clock before your meeting. And that way it'll be over early.
And we're all, won't hold nobody up.
So it will be, from now on, it'll be the first Wednesday that you're going to meet. You're not going to switch back and forth, right?
No, it'll be permanently on Wednesday at 6 o'clock, the
Okay.
first Wednesday of the month.
Mhm. Okay, we will meet at 5 o'clock. Now, would you want to make a motion on that? That we meet
Make
at
a
5
motion,
o'clock?
yep.
Yeah, make a motion, to change the meeting,
Okay.
5 o'clock on Wednesdays.
Okay.
And advertise.
And we have to advertise.
Yes.
But you advertised it the other way, didn't you?
Yes, I have to advertise the change.
Change it.
Mhm. Okay. Does anyone make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I make a motion to adjourn it.
Okay, second it.
Maybe, we want to talk about what we're going to start out with.
We can.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, because I had a thought on that too, but I decided to hold off on that.
All right.
I don't know if it's the same thing as yours, but I had a thought on it.
The license.
Yes, and ours will be 5 o'clock. So from here on, it'll be 5 o'clock on the first Wednesday of the month. Okay?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Okay.
Second, Glenn.